Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Adbond Team Mental Fitness. Today, we're going to be discussing from reactive to proactive, taking control of your workday. And this is going to be focusing within the workspace, within each individuals, within our departments, right? Then to go into the contents, we have 6 major headings we'll be looking at. Understanding what it means to be reactive and proactive, because these are 2 different approaches we can implement, in our various workflows within our departments or what we do personally as individuals. We'll be looking at what it means to approach workflow or our workday, our work life reactively and passively. Newton's third law also states that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So look at what the cost of a reactive management looks like. We're looking at what it takes to build a proactive mindset and approach. We'll look at techniques and tools we need to put in place to be able to achieve, a proactive system. Then we'll also establish the fact that a proactive work lifestyle is what is feasible because it sustains your work life. So firstly, we're taking our opening quote from John C. Maxwell. I believe that everyone chooses how to approach life. If you're proactive, you focus on preparing. If you're reactive, you end up focusing on repairing. You can see that those are 2 statements. One, you're focusing on repairing you repair what is spoiled, basically, what is not going well. And by the time we look into what it means to approach work reactively, we would understand why we end up preparing things. And the proactive part says when we focus on preparing, right, of course, you would excel. Impact will be higher. And this is from John C. Maxwell himself. So firstly, we'll look at understanding what it means to have a reactive and proactive approach in our workplace. Now we'll look at what it means to focus reactively and focus proactively. A reactive mode of work responds to immediate needs. Basically, it doesn't have anything planned. It just comes up and you're expected to dish it out. Proactive work states specifically that there's strategic planning in place, and initiative taking. On the long run, a proactive work would help you achieve more. It has more impact because you've had time to plan and you have time to execute. It is not something that just jumps at you and you're expected to deliver. An example as well of a reactive work is emails that come in, probably within departments, probably requests, client requests. You have urgent issues. These are reactive work that when you see them, you do not have so much time. You look at what the issue is and you're expected to give an instant reply. And in so doing, you can end up, missing out some things that require you repairing from what our opening quote from John C. Maxwell established. While an example of a proactive work is project development. Project development is a broad stage in its own. It's a simple word, but a very broad stage because it requires a lot. In it, there's research. In it, you have to do survey before executing, before selecting the team, before delegating, because it requires a lot of process. And within our departments, within organizations, it is very, very, very important to practice and embrace a proactive, work lifestyle. So project development is a fantastic example. Before we push out a project, we try as much as possible to ensure that, are people interested in this location? What can we do in this location? What are the things we'll end up with eventually in this location? So it helps us, achieve a lot. Process improvements. There is never one size, fits all for everything. For everything we start, there is a beginning. As we go further, we learn. We do again, we learn. It is important that within that period in time, it could be months, it could be years, it could be weeks, So it is important that process is being improved so as to get different results. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. So that is a proactive approach to work. So the gratification, when we're talking about gratification, what do we get? What is the result like? So a reactive work gives immediate and visible results. It is something you have to do. It jumps at you. You could be in a meeting. Oh, it requires, you need to do this, you need to do that. It is immediate and it is visible, right? But because it is immediate and visible, it doesn't mean it is the best form of approach. Then proactive work, it gives delayed gratification, but significant impact. Imagine something you've been planning for months, something you've been planning for weeks. The execution will be flawless, to be flawless. Then let's stress on the stress level. A reactive work will stress employees, it will stress team members, it will stress a department out. So it is, the stress level is often high due to constant interruptions. Because it is reactive, it is either you get the assignment is not complete, you started working, an addition is coming in, there's an update, you need to update your results so as to get what is in alignment. Then for a proactive work, stress level is lower because there is better planning and control. And I think every one of us, in our various departments, we try as much as possible to plan. An example is you as a team lead, meeting is coming up, but probably you're dishing it out to your team members that particular day or a day before. Not just a day before, very late at night. So it is important that with proactive planning, we're able to plan, envisage that, in this is also number of time we want to have meetings in a week, and you fix specific dates. And if you work well with that, it will relieve stress and improve performance. So just so to note, both work modes affect your performance, affect your professional performance and personal well-being difficultly and differently. Reactive work provides immediate gratification but can lead to stress, burnout, because the energy you're supposed to use for the next 2-3 days, you're already using it up in a single day. Right? Proactive work requires patience. It requires patience to assess the problem, to assess what is at hand. And it also creates a sense of achievement and control. You have control over what needs to be delivered. And that is what a proactive work approach helps you establish. And according to research, balancing both modes, it reduces stress. So we're not taking this training to establish the fact that reactive work will not come. But 10% of our work should be reactive, while 90% of it, most of the time, is proactive. So we've established that we plan before we do things, so that when things like this come up, we just feel like, okay, this is an additional. Let's just ensure we put things in place to ensure it is done. So let's not forget 10% emphasis on reactive work and 90% on proactive. Very, very, very important. Then we want to look at the costs. What are the disadvantages? What are the downtimes of practicing reactive management or reactive, workflow? So yeah, we have the 40% here in bold, and it specifically states that switching cost impact. Each interruptions, no matter how brief it is, that little time you have, let me check my phone, let me check my status. They eat up chunk of your time. No matter how brief, and they cost approximately 40% of your productive time, right? As your brain readjusts focus, because you're not focused on one particular item. Like I said, there's an assignment, there's an update on the assignment, and you started working. So you lose your balance. Phone distraction is also one. Professionals check their phones 58 times daily. These are data to back up, a reactive mode of work. And why this is coming in is because if you have a plan, if you have a schedule for a day, you know that, this and this are what I should do within this time frame. You know to put your phone aside to not cause distraction. But because there is no plan, you have time to do these other things, right? Which is not healthy. So professionals check their phones 58 times daily with 30 checks during working hours, continuously derailing productivity. And in this world of ours, we are a lot attached to our phones, and it causes drop in productivity. Quality degradation, constant task switching leads to errors due to inadequate attention and accumulates mental fatigue. Some of these things, mental fatigue as an example, is not physical, but you just see that a lot of contributions or a lot of meetings you're having, you're not taking time to assimilate, to process, and to be able to perform at your best. Cumulative effects, every of these things that have been happening, what it ends up into over time. Over a work day, this cost compound, resulting in less work completed with lower quality outcomes. The deliverable drops. Monday is just starting. Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, a whole week, you're not done with the little workflow or the agendas you have to achieve for the week. So these are the cost of reactive management. Productivity drops drastically. Team members are mentally fatigued, right? So a reactive manager typically spends most of their day putting out fires instead of preventing them. And this is because there is no planning. With planning in place, you can forecast. If we go this route, this is what will happen. By forecasting, just forecasting alone, okay, let's do this and this and this to achieve what we forecasted. And while forecasting as well, there will be a lot of other scenarios that will come out at you, and you'll be able to say, okay, if it ends up like this, this is what we should prefer to this solution. If it ends up like this, then we can move forward. And this takes us back to repairing. We repair what is spoiled, basically. So reactive management, this is what it leads to. We end up repairing what we didn't plan for. So this approach lacks forward-thinking planning, right? Because we've not planned. It is not progressive. It takes us step back, 2 steps back, and all, and addresses issues only after they become severe, often applying ad hoc fixes, immediate. That's what ad hoc is, basically. It is also immediate. You want to give an immediate fix. You want to resolve that issue without addressing the root cause. And planning just helps you evade all these processes. So in all, reactive management is not sustainable, right? It drops down productivity and deliverables. So building a proactive mindset, it is not easy. Just the way we have fixed mindsets and growth mindset. A proactive mindset is a growth mindset kind of approach, because you want to do something, keep doing it, and keep improving it. You have to keep getting better with a proactive mindset. And there are key habits we need to have. And as individuals within our various departments, we are leaders in whatever sphere we find ourselves. The proactive mindset is not just left alone to the team lead or the director or the management. We personally, as team members, are encouraged to embrace this, because 99% of organizations basically are looking for proactive team members that can go, all out to approach deliverables proactively and not reactively, right? So firstly, number one is active listening. Be it the manager, be it the team member, be it the team lead, we're encouraged to, participate in active listening, pay attention to feedback from whatever angles, from employees, from customers, from peers. Maintain eye contact and ensure genuine understanding. When we say feedback, is breakfast for business, for champions, basically, right? So wherever we find ourselves, it is very, very important. We give listening ears. We accept feedbacks, because these are things that helps us continually build our pyramids, right? Then secondly, analyze and prioritize feedbacks. After you've received this feedback, it could be a 50-50. It could be there's truth in what this person is saying, or this person is just saying it out of concern. But it is very, very important that it is analyzed, it is prioritized, and that feedback is being worked on. You could do a sorting, manage it categorically, address it with time, but it is important to prioritize working on feedback. Establish clear vision, set specific vocal goals for your team based on the feedback received. You'll be able to set this because you've worked on feedback, you've worked on your lapses, and you see what needs to be done differently. Remain flexible and encourage brainstorming to adapt as needed. Everybody basically on planet Earth, we're all lifelong learners. You keep learning. When you finish secondary school, you go to one level. You keep improving, you keep getting better. So we should never stop learning. It is very, very, very important. And let's learn from mistakes, right? Nobody knows it all. We never get it right at once. And for every mistake, for every failure, basically, is a stepping stone to getting closer, to that success gate. So systematically reflect on challenges you have either within a team, within a department, or within the organization, and reflect on the challenges to transform uncomfortable situations into valuable learning and improvement opportunities. Mistakes they're also a form of feedback that something is not right, something is not working out well. We need to change strategy, we need to re-strategize, we need to do something differently, right? So don't keep working and working at it that this thing must work. If it is not working, change something about it, and at the end of the day, that little change might drive you to your good rush, basically. Then strategic planning framework for you to be able to achieve the planning we've mentioned, because proactive approach requires you plan ahead, and we're talking planning 1 month, 2 months, your week, as little as it is. Admin will always say filling your flow for the week is just to, we know it is to make the workflow, the whole process seamless and easier on their hand than every other person as well. But the human body is like, there's always this antagonization between doing what is right and you're not comfortable doing it. So good things don't come in your place of comfort, basically. So strategic planning is very, very important, and there's a framework. Proactive management requires anticipating and adapting. You have to anticipate, you have to forecast, like I said, anticipate and adapt, to the things. Begin by auditing your schedule. As a team leader, as a team member, you already know what your workflow on a weekly basis, within a month, in a quarter, what it looks like. So week. These are the constants we do. These are the things I should expect I would be doing or I would be checking. So it is very important we audit ourselves. And lastly, it's also important to develop contingency plan. It is only when you plan, you know that it can either go this way or go that way. And there's a basis for you to be balanced, basically. Then time management techniques for daily control. A lot of us are not good planners. Some of us, we just try to get it and get going, right? We're not good planners. And for those people that are good planners, they know how easy their day goes. It goes very, very, very stress-free. So number one, there's a calendar blocking strategy, because it's only when you plan you can block your calendar. You can know 1st of June is occupied. I'm not available for so thing. But if you don't plan, anything that comes your way, you accept it, and it will distract you from other things you need to deliver within the department. Probably you need to have a meeting, but because you didn't write it down, the pen you have is better than your memory. You can't chunk in a lot of things. You can remember but forget, right? But when you write it down and you check whatever place you've written into, it creates a structure, it creates an habit that, there's so meeting on so day, and when such impromptu comes, to use your calendar. Basically blocks off things you don't want. Number one, designate specific time slot exclusively for focusing work on your digital calendar. Some of us have phones that gives us constant reminder. Some of us basically use it for birthdays more often. You want to remember people's birthday, but you can also use it for your work to be much more active. Number two, mark these blocks as busy to prevent others from scheduling meetings. It won't prevent them from scheduling meetings. It could just create a better time to have the meeting, right? Because you have other things you need to do. Number three, label each block with specific tasks or projects requiring focus. Within a department, like I said, the constant, we know report has to be done first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and there are things that leads up to this quarterly report, right? The daily things you do within our departments, either graphics design, either customer response, either customer calling, either team member gathering to do necessary things. We can write out these things, and as we move forward, other things that will fit into the calendar, they come up and we can adjust when necessary. Number four, during focus time as well. Focus time avoids you spending checking your phone 58 times. That reduces your focus time, and it is very, very important. During your break, you can play with your phone and have access to that, but within that period of time, you've done what you need to do, and you would have achieved a lot. You'll be very, very, very even. You feel purposeful because I've done something, and like coming without doing anything, you just feel that tiredness and all. So ensure you have a focus time, and with planning is how you can only achieve that. And number two strategy is a meeting-free day implementation. And it's not to say that there are days I'm not having meetings. It is simply to say that when you've established designated days for meeting, you have other days that are meeting-free. Within the department, we are meeting twice in a month. We're meeting once in a month, or you're meeting once weekly. Friday is the date. There are room for adjustment sometimes, but you know specifically Fridays are the days we do meeting. Every Saturdays of every second Saturday of every month we do meetings. So you create other days where you know, oh, there's no possibility for meeting. That is a simple example of planning. It protects continuous hours of work. Other things you need to be doing, you'll be doing them without necessarily jumping into an impromptu meeting. Number 3, prevent internal and external meeting overloads. When you have your meeting days already established, probably within the team, there won't be room for other unnecessaries, basically. Then 4th one is it enables team members to maintain a sustained concentration on priority projects, because you've planned project A, project B, project C within so months. Meeting for project A, project B within this period. It makes it much more achievable, for team members to meet, discuss, and move part-time with each project. There won't be any cause for derailing over time. Then task and priority management system. The good thing is we have apps that connect teams together, the likes of Trello and the likes. But basically, we have project management tools, and their purpose is to centralize communication, centralize the data we use to prevent, task forgetting, to distinguish between important and non-important, to know tasks that are priority, things we need to do now, and things that would help you prevent, they prevent delays basically. And it requires planning, because whoever is going to be using the management apps must have put it there probably a week before, or 2 days, 3 days before, so that whoever is going to be delivering, has time to process, research, and deliver necessary. So number 1 is we have project management tools. They serve different purposes. We have reminders in that categories. We have apps that connect team members together. You can assign roles to people, and I think media has something like this they use. So project management tools, the purpose is to centralize tasks and deadline tracking. There's active, constant flow of communication. Asana is an example. These ones are not so popular. Monday is an example. Trello is very, very common, among teams for internal workflows. To-do capture processes as well. This one helps you to capture to-dos. And the good thing is with these apps, when you've fed it with data over time, it knows your constants, right? It knows your constants. The only thing you need to keep doing over time is to update and bring in new additions. So it prevents tasks forgetting and overwhelming, right? Dedicated system instead of sticky notes or email. Email, you can be overwhelmed. With sticky notes, you can either forget it or not be so good with it, especially if you're someone that is very forgetful. You could have written it and you left it on your table in the room. So there's priority matrix as well. These are tools created for very, very, very urgent and important stuffs. You can see what this tool is doing. It's creating a tool for project management in general, a tool for to-do, and it didn't take away the fact that there are some work that requires urgency, that needs to be given attention to. This is urgent, it's not in the plan. So they created a priority matrix that helps to solve that work that come up urgently. So it distinguishes urgent from important works. The work might not be important, but it is very, very urgent, right? So it needs doing as well. So it organizes tasks by urgency and impact level. Buffer time is basically that focus in time when you're able to deliver something, because it requires no wasting of time at all, right? So it prevents cascade delays that compound over time, and it makes it easy for team to deliver easily. So every team members should find out that tool, should find out that thing they need within the department, either for task delegating, either for to-do tracking, or either for active flow of communication. To be funny, you're all sitting in a space, but then you notice that the communication is not flowing. But with these tools, everyone is required to be on it, because you just want to simply see, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this, and those are things you need to put in place. So it is very, very, very important. Then within an organization as well, it is important to have organization system and tools where team members, when they come in, they basically know, okay, these are the communication tools, these are the tools we use. And I think a lot of departments have something, like I said, Trello, number 1. I think media uses that very well, because it's something that would sit well with your system. And it doesn't mean it's only media that can use it. Other departments too can embrace it, because it helps achieve a seamless workflow workflow system. It helps achieve seamless workflow system. With email, a lot of things happens on email and people are overwhelmed to see it. Right? So a lot of things happen on emails these days. A lot of requests. By the time you check, it's either 20, 50, it keeps growing, right? And it can be very, very tiring. But with proper tools in place, it helps you avoid bottlenecks and increases productivity. So process design for reactive scenarios. Like I said, 10% you get 10% of the time you get reactive works as well, works that needs urgency. And because we're not taking that out totally, there's also a recommendation of how to go about reactive work, because it needs and requires digesting as well, right? As much as it is something that is very, very urgent, it has no planning. So it is important to establish clear processes. You want to know what you need to do to get the job done. You want to understand the request. You want to understand the email. Understanding comes from knowing what person wants. Number two, you have to create a dedicated workflow, because similarly, some of these requests, other 50, 80, 60 people are going to be, making such requests, and you don't want to start all over again, because you've already experienced it. You've written down how you attended to such issue. You are able to replicate, and other people are able to use it. So the brain is not so much good memory, but when you take note of them in these tools that have been recommended, it helps to work efficiently. Then it is also important to design contingency plan. Everything requires a contingency plan, because with prediction, you can plan, then you can properly execute. Then lastly, ensure there's also flexibility, right? I think flexibility is very important at every point in time. You can tell, you can decide this is what I want to do, but something that might come up, and it's important that you tweak or shake the branch a bit for emergencies, particularly. Very, very, very important. Then lastly, what we would also recommend is that a proactive work lifestyle is what we should embrace. Like I said, 90% is more than enough for us to know that this is what we should embrace, because organizations and people work effectively with a proactive system, because it requires planning. You don't just want to wake up and we're doing this today and everybody gets on board. You that have envisioned it, basically, you know that you've gotten to a certain point, so you need to give time to other team members to get to that point. So it requires planning, delegating, so that everybody can effectively execute. So the transition from reactive to proactive requires conscious effort. It is a conscious thing. It is an intentional decision that, this is what we want to start doing, or we don't want to do this, because naturally the human state is in a reactive mode. When things happen, we are reacting. When things happen, we are reacting because we don't plan for accidents, right? They happen, but provided there are agencies in place, they're able to easily attend to accidents and hazards on the road. So naturally, the human body is reactive. So we can start by, scheduling an audit. Like I said, every of the things we do daily, they are datas, right? I did this on Monday. You see that those things are patterns. You must do them repeatedly over time for you to move forward. You have to implement the strategies we've mentioned. The calendar blocking strategy, very, very important. And by calendar blocking strategy, we're not saying you are blocking the calendar, but because you've already put things in place, it waves off unnecessaries. It waves us unnecessaries, right? And we can also we should learn to designate focus time blocks. It is very, very important. And those focus times are the fact that you have a schedule. I need to do this, and this. Don't let any other thing come into distraction. Example is phone, right? As little as it is going on social media, you just notice you're there for 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? Time is gone. So let's ensure to have a focus time habit. It's very, very important. Let's set clear, measurable goals as well, that is in alignment with what we want to do. We have communication tools to communicate to team members more effectively, right? And it helps to create accountability, right? It helps to create accountability. And this is a continuous process we must continually do, right? Continuous improvement and reflection. With proactive approach, you don't get it once. You start planning, it gets better over time. It is important to adjust systems and process based on what actually works, right? It is also important to conduct reviews. We want to review the plans, we want to review the process to make our outputs better. Number 3, we have to track the working initiatives that are working. We have to track them as well so as to see what can be done differently and what we need to retain. Number 4, we have to identify recurring reactives, right? There are some things during the course of the work on a weekly basis, monthly basis, we notice they will always come. So when we plan, we can plan them into our week. And number 5, celebrate progress. After all is said and done, at the end of the day, it's important to celebrate your little wins as a team and as an individual, right? So this is where we'll be ending our session for today. Thank you very much for joining. If you have a comment, contribution, please drop it in the comments section below and we'll do well to reach out. Thank you very much.